All righty, welcome everyone. So Jason Pasquale here along with my partner in crime, Jason Radulo, part of SJG.poker, and we're going to go ahead and review some recent hands from our site. So hope you enjoy it, and we're going to go ahead and give some commentary on these hands, and let's see how well everyone played. Jason, any comments?
Good. No, I'm Jaydizzler, and that's setspike. Let's do this thing.
All right, let's do it. So let's go ahead and take a look at a hand from this was probably like a couple weeks ago now at this point. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
I know what I had in this hand. So this
is definitely one that you know well, but let's go ahead and take a look. So 8 people seated at the table. I'm on the button for this one. Yeah, buddy, and Simone in the blinds, and so let's go ahead and take a look and let's watch this hand. All right, so we got Mayo with a raise to 3, and it pretty much calls all the way around. So we are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to the flop here.
Yeah, that's a 6x open raise from early position by Mayo. And when it's Mayo, we don't know. He could have a wide range here. Do you want me to talk about what I already have, or do you want to just go?
No, let's play the hand out and let's see. Yeah. And then we can, if we want to go back and check out the hand again, knowing what you know about this hand, and
okay,
we can provide some extra comments back then. All right. Let's just pause right there. Okay, so Mayo pre-flop raise. He gets 5 other callers. C bets to $14 into an $18 pot, and both Joe comes along, and then you go ahead and check raise, or excuse me, you raise to 36. So not a full 3x on the on the bet. So so this kind of tells me that, you know, you've got a really good hand and you want people to come along who have effectively already put in some cash into the pot. So that's kind of what I see. Mayo calls and Joe calls. So let's just pause right here.
Okay, so Mayo open pre. Now he makes a 75% C bet, right? That's pretty strong. And then even though Joe calls, I'm now raising, right? And I'm showing extreme strength.
Yep.
So the type of hands that I would call pre-flop with and make a big raise here with, I mean, you automatically got to think sets, yeah, ace deuce or ace 8, right? I mean,
so I would put you on a set here, but I don't think you have aces because we've got both Mayo and Joe calling. So I've pretty much narrowed your range to a set of 2s or a set of 8s at this
right
point.
I mean, if they didn't have, well, if they're both calling now, yeah, we can't all have an ace, right? I mean, yeah, we could. It could be, I guess,
you could have enough, but it's you know, to see, like, you know, if you all have aces, if you all have an ace and have the last ace end up on the flop, that's, you know, it's pretty rare. So
pretty rare. And what would I just smooth call with pre-flop and then be raising that flop with? I can't have ace king, right?
Yeah.
So
no, because you would have absolutely raised a pre-flop with ace king. So
yeah, I would have 3-bet the pre-flop raise. Yeah.
All right. So Jack of clubs hits the turn. And Mayo shoves.
That's an overbet shove right there. I love it.
Mayo shoves. Joe calls. Well, she's all in. And you call. So what does this tell me? Well, it tells me that Mayo and Joe definitely both have aces. And at this point, they each have to have 2 pairs. So either they both have ace jack or, well, let's face it, Joe would probably call here with ace king or ace queen.
Yeah, that's true.
And you definitely have a set in terms of either eights or twos at this point.
That's spot on. I mean, even without knowing the hand history, I think we can clearly, as long as we have a clear mind and we're looking at this clearly, and we're not like tired at the tail end of a session, I think it's pretty clear what everyone has. Like it's all face up. Unless someone's doing something crazy or they're tilting or drunk, they both have two pair and I have a set. I mean,
exactly.
Let's think about Mayo's shove with a set here, though. Is it good? That's my question. I mean,
well, if Mayo's got two pair, does he shove here? And the only reason he would shove here with two pairs is he has to have top two.
Yeah. But is it a good play though? If knowing what you know about what I did on the flop,
knowing what you did on the flop, knowing Mayo's aggressive play, what he's hoping is that he's basically trying to use that aggression in order to hopefully get you off of, you might, in his mind, he might think you have ace king, ace queen. Maybe you decided to play tricky with both those at this point. Maybe you have ace king, maybe you have ace 10 of clubs at this point, and he wants to get out any draws. I gotta believe Joe's got two pair at this point as well, but I believe Mayo has to have top two at this point. It's the only thing.
If Mayo's watching this is what I think you were thinking at the time. All right. I think you were thinking you have top two pair, right? You have either aces and eights or aces and jacks. That's what's pretty clear to me. And you're hoping that Joe calls weaker than you. She has a weaker two pair. And you're hoping that discourages me from continuing and you can isolate Joanna. Yeah. That's Joanna. That's what I'm thinking. You're hoping I get out of the hand and you isolate Joanna. That's because I know specifically that Mayo thinks in terms of isolation a lot.
Yeah.
So that's
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So everyone's all in at this point. And then we hit to see the jack on the river and just, wow.
Oh man. All right, I'm turning this off. I forget how much I hated this hand, dude. That's just
wow,
gross. Okay, so there's only one ace left for him to hit, two jacks, right?
Yeah. And
so it's three outs.
Joe spot on in terms of what we thought she'd had. She either had two pair or she was sitting with an ace with another club. So the only reason why she would continue, and you were sitting there with a set still. So yeah, that's just a nasty river.
That's a 6.6%er or something like that. Yeah, like
just
3 outs times 2.2. Nasty. Joanna's drawing dead, by the way.
Yeah, Joe is drawing dead. Yes, correct. Completely drawing dead. There's nothing.
But understandable for Joe, though. I mean, she's up against Mayo, and ace deuce could definitely be good against Mayo.
Yeah, even if she hits the miracle 2, you still have a higher boat, and there's
so eight's full. I mean, that's a monster spot for me. But no, Mayo gets to take down $492. Good job. Congrats,
props to Mayo for
that. Still tilts me
from his perspective. He's got to think he's good regardless at that point. Pretty relatively dry board, even with the other jack of clubs, and there's no reason why he shouldn't shove at that point on the
Okay,
turn.
Before you get to the turn though, if we roll back to the flop and your Mayo, what do you do in that spot? I mean, you see bet big, and then a tight player like me raises. Are you folding ace jack here?
Am I folding ace jack here? For another 22. For another 22 into an $82 pot. So I'm getting 4-1 at that point. No, I'm calling.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. That's really good to know.
I'm calling.
I'm calling too, I think.
Yeah.
I think even if it's like someone as tight as like Merv raising, getting that kind of price, and then the turn, it just pretty much he can't fold, right? Yeah. That's just, at that point, it's just the cooler.
Yeah. Just 2 outer. It is what it is.
That one stings, man. That's all right though.
All
It
right.
happens.
All right, let's look at the next hand here.
All right. This is fun. I like this. Thanks for doing these, by the way. You had
Yeah,
to plug these
all
in.
good. All right, so let's see what we got here. First of all, we got Buster on the button. I'm in the small blind, Stig in the big blind, Simone, and Mayo. So we're playing 5-handed here.
Limp.
All right, so pretty much everyone limps in except me, and we've got 10-4-4.
Was Simone straddling? Because he made it one. Simone made it $1 and everybody called.
Oh yeah. He probably had the straddle on. I don't know if the software actually tracks that, but
he straddles $1 all the time.
Yeah, I think he straddles all the one time, but I think in the replayer it doesn't distinguish that he straddled. But yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. So Mayo with a C bet, and Simone here goes ahead and check raises him to min check raise here. So what do we think? What do you think's going on here?
Well, it's min check raise plus $1. But so Mayo limped. Actually, if Simone either raised to $1 or straddled, Mayo actually just limped in pre-flop. And now he bet pot on this flop.
Oh, you're right.
He's weighted a lot towards, I mean, he has a pretty big range, but it has to be something like Jack 10, Queen 10. Some fours, I think Mayo is good enough here to be betting fours. And he has some flush draws also. Also, Mayo has a tendency to attack paired boards as well. But I think Simone is more clear in his min check raise here, or small check raise, that Simone's really weighted towards a 4 here. And I'd be thinking about, if I'm in a Mayo spot, I'm folding almost every 10 except for an ace 10, I think. That's my situation.
Simone will also, we also know Simone will like to build a pot for a flush. So I also think, yes, he could have a 4 here, but I also think he could have 2 diamonds.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So especially with a min check raise, it's not if he went to 12 or 13, I think it would have been clear that hey, that's announcing, hey, I've got a 4. And but I think with a very minimal check raise here, I think he could also be playing 2 diamonds here. So
yeah, I think we could definitely rule out full houses and quads though, right? Because
yes,
he would just smooth call there.
He would have smooth called it. Yes. So I think, I don't think he's got 10s, and I don't think he's got 10-4, because yes, I think he would have smooth called Mayo's bet there.
And Simone could definitely have 10-4, and he plays everything. So
yeah. So Mayo calls the raise, and now we get a 5. So now we got
blank.
Now we've got 2 clubs and 2 diamonds on the board here. So 2 possible flushes. Simone comes out with 15.5. So 2/3 pot there. And Mayo with the snap call. So at this point, I think Chris coming with 2/3 pot. I don't think he has 2 diamonds anymore. I think he is pretty much narrowed. I think I've narrowed his range down. He has to have a 4. Yeah, I can't think of anything else he would have at this point.
It's hard. So it's weird because I have what's called in my mind the Mayo dynamic, right? Because Mayo's tricky, and Simone sometimes could be getting full value here with King 10. I think that's why I was thinking like something Simone's probably not doing this with something as weak as Jack 10 or Queen 10, but if I were Mayo's spot, I don't think I'd be folding ace 10 in this spot. I think I would be folding any 10 except for ace 10, or better. But I just gotta, he's shown so much strength, and so many people saw the flop, Chris, he's got to have a 4 here a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I can think of Chris happen is an ace 10 at this point. Ace 10 or
Yeah.
a 4.
I mean, do you think he ever does this with 6-7 of diamonds? He picked up equity on the turn.
No, because I think if he picked up the combo draw there, I think he's going to check it.
Okay.
I think he would check it.
All right. So we both think he probably weighted towards the 4. He doesn't always have to have the 4, but most likely has the 4. Okay.
Weighted towards a 4. The river is a total blank. So nothing. I mean, no one's playing. Granted, ace 3 and 3-6 got there, but there's no way either of those guys are playing that at this point with
No, those are 2 blanks, basically.
So that's a blank. Simone shoves. Another insta call from Mayo.
There's the 4.
And there's the 4. And yeah.
Okay, now I don't know. Is this a punt versus Simone? That's the question. I don't know. So the flop, he could have diamonds. Turn, do you think he continues with this story? Because we know Simone sometimes has that 3 barrel in him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think this is a punt. I don't see how we can call that. I mean, he loses to Jack 10, Queen 10, King 10, Ace 10.
And it doesn't help that he has a 9 of diamonds in his hand. That also blocks out more diamond combos that Simone could have. So, yeah, okay. So, but my follow-up question would be, do you call down Chris here with Ace 10? So you have Ace 10 of hearts. Are you calling him down there?
If I had Ace 10, I would have called him down. Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah,
but you gotta have some 10s to call with, and that's the only thing.
But I would have folded 10. Yeah, I think I would have folded 10-9, get on the river with that shove bet. So
yeah, I'm folding it on. I'm super nitty though, but I'm folding it on the flop. Actually,
you're folding on the flop. Oh, I think I would have
on the flop.
Yeah, I think I would have called. I think I would have called the flop, and I think I would have called the turn as well. But then with the 2 and the blank, yeah, I mean, there's just too many combinations of 10 that are beating you. And if he has the 4, then you were toast from the beginning. So yeah. All right.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Sorry, Mayo. That's a tough one. I don't know what the next hand is at all. So this is gonna be fun. I didn't really look at all the things you sent me. So
all good. All right. So we've got 9 players, full table. I'm on the button. I'm on the button. I don't even remember this hand now. So I pre-flop 2.5, 2x, 2.5x raise to 10. I get 2 folds, and then it's Diz and I. So Diz checks. I put a 50%. I go half pot. And Diz check raises here.
Okay, so let me back up here.
Now I remember this hand. So I'm gonna ask you to analyze this because I totally remember this hand now.
Okay, and so Simone opens to 1, DZ re-raised to 3, and you 4-bet to $10 here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pretty tight with your 4-bets, right? You're weighted towards Ace King. A lot of big aces and big pairs, right? Okay. And he checked to you, you see bet half, and now he's check raising. Okay. So what the heck do you guys have? Okay. Well, let me see what you do next.
Yeah.
Do you call?
Oh, I called.
Okay. All right. So you are heavily, I don't think you ever do this with King Queen. I don't think you 4-bet King Queen ever that I could think of. So you are Ace Queen. You don't have Ace King anymore, right? Because you wouldn't have called that bet. So you have Ace Queen, King King, or Ace Ace, or a set most of the time. Because you're also the type of player that will c-bet. Well, you can't have 5s because you're never 4-betting 5s. But you can have 8-8. You're the type of player who will let someone check raise and you'll just smooth call there with a set or pocket queens a lot of the time. So you're Ace Queen or better. Set of 8s or an overpair. DZ, small raise, check call. He check raised though. I don't know Daryl's check raising range. I don't know. I know he does it with draws. It's hard for him to have 6-7 here, and there are not a lot of draws out there.
Yep.
He could have Queen 8 suited, which is pretty strong. He could have a set himself, or he can have Ace Queen himself. So those that's the range I put him on. Ace Queen, or 2 pair, or a draw. But there's not a lot of draws there, so I'm gonna say Ace Queen. Ace Queen himself is most likely for a set.
I'll let the hand play out before, and then we can come back and I can kind of give my commentary on each street.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to know.
Okay. So turns a 10. Relative blank. I don't think either of us have 9 jack, given the way the flop and pre-flop and the flop went. So Diz comes, he shoves. Neither of us have 9s, and so he has king queen, and I take the pot with ace queen.
Thanks.
So let's go back to pre-flop right here. So pre-flop, Diz puts out a $4 bet, and given the way that we play here on SJG, a $4 bet doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. But I raised to 10, so I've definitely got something, and it folds around, and Daryl calls. So when the flop comes out and he checks, so I've got ace queen, so I put out half pot, and he check raises me. So I'm thinking in my head, well, if Diz had ace, ace, or king, king, he probably would have shoved. Pre-flop with that, or even made it a 5-bet going for it. So I don't think he's got ace, ace, or king, king. So I got to narrow him down to ace, queen, or king, queen at this point. And I've got ace, queen. So if I've got ace, queen, and he's got ace, queen, it's a pretty dry board. Nobody's getting a flush. So I at that point, I only put him on 2 hands of ace, queen, or king, queen. Turn is dry. River does bring in the 9, but at this point, neither of us could really have 9x.
Nor ace king.
Or ace king at this point either. So yeah, just one of those.
I have a few comments actually.
Yeah.
You personally could have ace king of spades. That min check raise on the flop, I think you're still going to continue with ace king of spades on that flop. Just because you have so many backdoors. Then the turn you have like the perfect card, so you can still have ace. So if I'm Daryl, I'm still afraid of ace king of spades.
Sure,
that's only one combo.
Fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. Well, I can't have ace king of spades because he has king of spades. So
well, there's the blocker.
Yeah.
No, I'm not afraid of ace king at all then. If I'm thinking clearly, then
yeah.
I don't know if I like the check raise on the flop. I don't know if they're gonna listen to all this, but I don't know what he's trying. When somebody check raises with king queen here, what are they trying to accomplish? Right? Are they trying to get you to fold? Are they trying to get you to call with pocket jacks?
So I think Diz is looking at it in 2 ways. It's like I've got top pair with a decent kicker. If I check raise here, that should force me to fold if I had decided to c-bet with ace king.
Right.
Okay.
And it's sort of a C. So it's sort of a C where I'm at kind of raise.
Yeah, I think it's a C where I'm at. It's like, hey, I've got a decent hand, but I also want to see where Jason's at.
Okay, because if you want to fold, because I like to think of things as, do I want to get a call here or do I want to fold? And if I want set spike to fold here, then it doesn't matter if I have king queen or not. I could have anything. Yeah. Right. I just want someone to fold. So I could, it's a little too strong, I think. It's too good of a hand to turn into a bluff. That's what I think of it as.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Anyway, that's sort of the old school way of thinking versus the new school way of thinking. The old school way of thinking is I'm going to check raise, and if he continues in the hand, then I may be in trouble, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's sort of the old school way of thinking. But nice hand. You got max value.
Yep.
I like the smooth call. I was surprised you didn't think he might have 8s. You didn't think there's a chance he had pocket 8s in this spot?
Small. I mean, it's only, there's only a couple combinations of of him to have queen eight or eights there. And I don't think he raises to 4 pre-flop with queen eight, even if they were suited.
Definitely not queen eight. No.
And so a raise to 8, a raise to 4 with 8s. I don't know that I've ever seen Diz raise to 4 with 8s before. So I think it's got to be a little stronger than 8s for him to
that must have been what you were thinking at the time with smooth calling with ace queen.
Yeah,
because that was really well played.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the time, it's like I narrowed him down to either king queen or ace queen.
The same hand, right?
And
right, you're right.
If I've got ace queen, then I'm at this point, I'm just gonna call him down, because then we've got the same hand, so it's all good.
Now, if that's either palace or set spike that opened 4 and called, you can still have pocket kings, because
that's true. Yeah,
both of you guys, I've seen you smooth call with kings. I've never seen anybody else do it but you guys.
That is
the
true.
Entire group. Yeah.
All right, let's look at the next hand here.
Where are we on? Hand 4?
We are on hand 4. Yep.
Okay.
All right, so let's look at what we got.
Let's go, Tang.
Pre-flop here. So table of 8. Palace is on the button, and Jeff in the small blind. I'm on the big blind with Tang there under the gun. So let's see how it goes. So Kobe Chicken opens up to 250. Palace calls. Jeff calls. All right. So there it is, pre-flop. Hang on. Let's back up a little here, because we started.
Shouldn't be that much in the middle here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
that
sure
141 shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the software is doing that. That's not correct by the software, but that's all right. No big deal. So after the flop, Kobe Chicken goes in for 525 and a call from Palace and Jeff. So let's think about this for a second here. Okay, so Kobe Chicken, he opened up for 250 under the gun.
Super strong.
Yeah. So he's got to have a really strong hand, and Palace with a call from the button, and Jeff from the small blind calls. So he's got to have something decent there. I mean, I can't imagine him not having something decent. So, but he does check pre-flop.
So it's not Jeff Fishman, right? This is Raiders Jeff, right?
Yeah. This is Raiders
Jeff.
Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Palace called off a fifth of his stack on the button here.
Yep.
Okay. Got to be pretty strong. They both got to be pretty strong. I mean, but the best combos that they can have in terms of non-made hands are king jacks, but they both probably don't have king jacks either. So it's pretty interesting. I'm not sure exactly what everyone has. Kobe Chicken's weighted towards, ace king, ace queen, and over pairs. So
yeah. I mean, at this point, I think Kobe Chicken's got ace queen at this point, based on what I've seen.
Okay.
So Kobe effectively shoves for 44 here on the turn.
That's an overbet, right?
That's a total overbet. So I'm thinking he's got what? Queen at this point. Could have 10-10.
Yeah.
Could have a boat. Could be, yeah. I don't know. I mean, or he may have, I don't know, still an ace queen and hoping to protect on a possible flush draw. It's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, who does this, right? Nobody does this. Only Tang does this.
Just
right?
Tang.
He'll open 250, barrel, and then overbet the turn.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about Tang, he's pretty balanced in these spots. So he can have a bluff, and he can have monsters. I don't see him doing it with quads. I see him. He's tricky, dude. But I would, if I were Palace and Jeff, I'd be thinking about aces, kings, ace, queen, if I were thinking that that's what Kobe has, and I'd be afraid of anything else. But also Kobe's good enough to turn combo draws where he picks up equity on the turn. So if he had ace 10 of spades or ace king of spades, he might do the same, or king jack of spades.
Yeah.
I think all of those, as soon as he picks up equity on the turn, hey, I have so much equity, I'm going to shove and maximize my fold equity is what I'm thinking.
He's got, absolutely. Okay. So
call.
Wow.
And re-raise.
Well, actually, yes, call. And actually then Jeff shoves for the rest of for an extra $9, $9.75. And obviously Tang calls. And just a gross river. Okay, we just have to stop.
Oh, like I said, I told you Palace could have kings in those spots.
Yeah. I mean, just a gross river.
So he has 9 spades, right? And an ace. He has 12.
He's got 12.
24% equity.
He's got 24% equity. He's got 9. He's got 12 outs. Because neither Jeff nor Palace have spades, so he's got the full 9 outs. Actually 9, 12, 16 outs for the jack, because the jack gives him the jack.
Oh yeah. Straight.
So 16 out. So he's got
32%,
33% equity. So a 33% equity shove on the turn.
That's a good play. Actually,
I got no problems with the way. I mean, it's gross that he hit it, but it's
that's like the grossest way to hit. By the way, is the ace.
Yeah, it's like, because the case king is not good for him. So
let's see here, and Jeff needs 416. So Palace is effectively like 50% to scoop here then.
Oh, I take that back. We got to take away all the spades. Take
that pair of the board.
We got to take away the 10.
Just the 10.
Just the 10 of spades, yeah. So 15 outs, 31%.
31%. And then Jeff has 4 outs, right?
Yeah.
So he has 8. So like 40. So Palace is like 60% to win the hand. To scoop a 3-way pot, that's really good equity. Palace played this hand really well.
I mean, he did. He didn't try and buy it early, though. I don't think he could have anyway. Even if he had shoved at any point, if he had shoved anywhere, both Jeff and Tang are calling the entire way down. So
I don't think Tang could possibly call the flop if Palace makes a big raise.
Yeah, probably. Well, it would have been interesting.
Yeah, it's a rainbow board.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. We've seen Tang do a lot crazier stuff, though.
He's a tricky man. That guy. He's a tricky dude. That was a really good hand. Right. If you're in Jeff's spot, you can't like the deuce though.
If I'm in Jeff's spot,
so much.
So if I'm in Jeff's spot, when Tang puts out the original bet, I think I would have probably after the flop, when Tang bets, I am probably putting a huge over bet if I'm Jeff.
Big check raise, right?
What's that?
A big check raise on the flop?
Yeah, a big check raise on the flop. The only problem is that Palace is going to come along and Jeff loses the hand anyway.
He loses the hand in the long run, but he actually gets it in with the most equity.
Yes,
on the flop.
Yeah.
He's the big favorite on the flop.
Yeah. And then he loses all of that equity with that paired with that 2 on the turn. So
yeah, that's 2 should save you money most of the time, but it's really hard to put Scott on the kings.
Yeah.
He's so tricky.
Yeah,
I would think especially
since because he didn't 3 or 4 bet pre-flop with it. So yeah,
and smooth called the flop.
He smooth called from the button with kings.
That was tricky. Yeah, I think I might be going broke with queen 10 also. The only difference is I check raise big on the flop as well.
So if I'm Scott here, Tang raises pre-flop. I'm putting in a big bet. With kings on the button. Yeah. I got to put a big bet in there.
I think so. Someone showing that much strength means they're probably going to go with it, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be aces. So you can just get it all in pre with when you know you're going to be like a 4-1 favorite.
And
Yeah.
then queen 10-2 hits on the flop. So if I believe Tang has ace king, ace queen, ace jack, the last thing I wanted to do was catch. So
Yeah.
I then shoved there with Scott, you know, right after the flop and just take it down. So
I'm okay with the way Scott played it. If he does that sometimes with draws the same way and it
yeah.
keeps a balance. I've never flatted with kings ever, so I don't know. I'm just not that kind of spot. I will do with aces in tournaments though. I think it's a good thing to do in tournaments with aces because you're going to be stacking off. People are going to be stacking off shallow anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
All righty. Next one.
Poker tracker. Hand replay, play.
Is this the same hand? Same hand. Sorry.
Like 5x open again, Tang.
All right. We got 8 at the table. King Roman on the button. Oh. Let's watch that again. So we get Palace and Buster in the blinds. Me. So I raised to 4.
Wow. You raised an 8x here. Okay.
Yep. Raised 8x. And then I get a call. I get a call from Ryan. Everyone else insta folds. And we see a flop of queen 10-10. So I remember this hand. I know what I have. So I'll even say I've got ace queen of hearts of this hand. So I flopped 2 pair with so basically a top here with top 2 pair with the best kicker. So
you should be good a huge amount of the time here.
So I went and tried to play this a little tricky. So
really,
so I checked. I checked.
No one else does that, dude. Who does that? Okay. You opened up 8x, hit a flop that you like, and you check. Okay.
And I checked it. Yep.
Okay.
So Ryan there, effectively a pot size bet. And I could care less what Ryan had. There's no way I'm folding ace queen here.
No, not the way you played it.
There's no way I'm going to fold ace queen. So it's impossible for me to fold that. So I could care less what he had bet. I was going to call it. So now I improved to
the ace queen of hearts. That's a good
so
card.
I still have top 2 with the ace kicker, but I have picked up a bunch of equity now with the 2 of hearts. So all of a sudden I've got a bunch of extra outs.
Right. There's not 181 in the pot though. There's about $26 in the pot.
I'm not sure why the software is doing that. But that's definitely not. That's definitely not.
That's going to be the end result pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another 1950
like a 3/4 pot bet. Yeah.
Yep, 3/4 pot bet, and then I go ahead and call that as well. Again, there's no reason for me to. There's no way I'm going to fold this. He could have a 10.
And that's why you're not raising, just in case he has a 10.
Raising. So
yeah.
And then bing, boom.
You're a genius. You're the best. You're the best. Unless he's got a boat already. You're the best.
And then I go with the FU bet. I dare you to think I'm wrong.
I mean, if I'm Ryan right now, it really looks like you have a 10 or a king jack. And I think you have king jack a lot, actually, because you have such a big raise pre-flop. That's an 8x raise under the gun. You have a lot of king jack suited, I think, that you don't want, or a lot of king jack offsuits you don't want too much callers with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to call you with basically ace queen or better here.
He called.
Sorry, Ryan. It's just funny.
Sorry, Ryan.
It's kind of funny because that's runner hearts, bro.
So I'm at the end of the day, it's like I'm way behind at every single point.
How are you supposed to know that though? Like he cold called pre-flop.
Yeah, he didn't raise. He did. There's no way I put him on aces. I actually thought he had a 10. And
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
after he's on the river, you're like, okay,
yeah,
call
if
me
you have
with
a
your
10,
10,
hey,
buddy.
that's great.
Yeah.
Unless
Call
you
me with
have
your
queen 10.
king 10. Yeah.
And I doubt you have queen 10 because, well, I've got one of those queens. So it's pretty rare that you're going to have queen 10 there. So
most likely
yeah.
king 10, ace, maybe ace 10 suited. Yeah. Nice
Yeah.
run out, son.
It was a good run out. It's a good run out.
Run out.
Sorry, Ryan.
Man, that must have felt good. When was that? I don't remember seeing that hand.
That was last night, actually.
That was last night?
Yeah, that was just last night. All right. New hand here. So let's see. Mayo, Diz, Buster, myself, Merv, and Simone. Simone on the button. Merv with the raise to 4.
It's so big.
And so we get 2 callers. So we're going three ways to a flop here. Queen 7-4, 2 spades. And Mayo comes out with the 50-cent donk bet.
I love it. Just leading out for 50 cents. That's basically a check in my eyes.
Leading out for 50 cents on a relatively weak board. Nothing crazy.
You have to call whatever you have.
Okay. Yeah. So I call. I mean, I could have complete garbage, but yes, I got a call. It's effectively a check.
Yeah.
And then Merv comes in with basically a pot size bet at this point. So yeah. 14.50 to Mayo's 50 cents. And then Mayo comes in with the raise to 30.
That's hard.
I bow out for sure.
Yeah, it's just too expensive now.
Yeah. So what are we putting? Let's see. Actually, let's double check. Let's see what. And then Merv comes in with then a raise to 70. So let's stop and think. What do these guys have at this point?
I don't know, because no one in the universe bets 50 cents and then and then raises, right? Not a single person that I know. I think who used to play, one person that I've ever seen play that way was Scott Seaver. Do you remember Scott Seaver with the big curly hair?
Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah.
I've seen him do weird things like that before, but not something like, the real big top players. That's one of the only top players that I know that does that. Like I wouldn't see Adelstein do that, Negreanu, Doug Polk. It's hard to balance it. But so Buddy, Merv raised it to $4 pre-flop, right? So yeah, Buddy's rated to top pair good kickers, over pairs and sets at this point. Not 4s ever. 7s maybe. He's like queens some of the time, but if I'm Merv, I'm doing this with like pocket kings a lot of the time.
Okay.
But I'm usually just smooth calling him because I want Mayo to blast off if he's bluffing instead of re-raising here.
And
but I know the 2 spades on board are scary. I don't know. I've seen Mayo do strange things with the min bet re-raise. So he can have 5-6. He can have spades. He can have a.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I put Mayo on spades with the queen.
Right. Something strong.
So
now
I'm putting him on top pair, and he's got the queen of spades along with some other spade.
That's certainly what it looks like.
So
how often does he have a set or ace queen here? Pretty rare.
It's pretty rare, but I gotta, because if I have a set, the last thing I want to do is give someone a free card in order to catch a flush. So
right.
So if he does have the set, I don't like the 50-cent bet because that's effectively giving someone a free card.
Right.
So
they can easily just call and continue to get free cards, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens here. Mayo calls. So effectively
sure
they're all in.
Merv's probably like, no spade, no spade. Merv
And then the
has the
spade
best hand
hits.
here a lot.
And oh,
Wow. So a lot of this, okay, this is what I think about Mayo. Okay. Super creative guy. And a lot of it has to do with his state of mind. Like if he's losing and this is the tail end of the night, he's more weighted towards draws.
yeah.
If he's winning or it's the beginning of the night, he's weighted towards high value hands. That's what I feel like about Mayo. I don't know if I want to reveal that to the public, but if you want to keep this in, you can. But that's how I try to read Mayo in terms of his ranges. If you would have told me, hey, this is the beginning of the night, he's up, I would have been like, I'm probably just going to fold king queen to him. I think late at night, probably drinking. I don't think you can fold king queen. You can't fold king queen to Mayo. You just can't.
Yeah. I look at that board and I think Merv played it right with the raise to so at this point, he's got the queen of spades and the king, and he doesn't want anyone to catch a flush either. And so I think the raise is, but then when Mayo comes back with the 30 on top of the 1450, Merv's got to know his queens are beat at that point.
It's Mayo though. It's the Mayo factor. But so are we folding ace queen in this spot? I'm folding jack queen for sure. I'm folding an underpair for sure. King queen's like right on the middle. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if Mayo had ace king here, ace king of spades here, I mean that's realistically the only other hand I can see him. Along with the sevens here, or if he had pocket fours, to make that $30 raise. And so Merv assuming Merv thinks the same way, he can only put him on three hands that makes that. And so he gambled and decided it's like he doesn't have a set and doesn't have ace king, and I've got top pair, and I've got effectively a high spade with that as well. So yeah,
I think it's fine. Yeah,
I think it's fine the way. I think it's fine the way Merv played it. And if I'm Mayo, I think I'm a little nervous. Letting someone draw that free card with that 50-cent bet on the.
I mean, in his but I mean, it's the same thing as checking, right? You probably check sevens there too to induce a bet so you can bluff at it. I mean, so you can check raise them.
Yeah,
that's the same thing, but adds a little more deception. I don't mind
check.
It. Yeah, 50-cent check, but it also throws a lot of people off because they're like, what? And it slows down their thought process a little bit. People who aren't used to the 50-cent bet, which I'm used to now, it can really throw things off. What do you do if it's Buster who check races you there, or like Bruce who check races you there? Does it change it at all? Or you're still getting in with king queen or folding?
So if Buster check raised me there, or Bruce check raised me there, or if Palace check me, or if you check raised me there, I'm laying down. I'm laying down my queen there unless I had another spade with it.
Yeah. If you have king queen of spades, you can't fold.
If I have king queen of spades, I can't fold. And no, I actually might have shoved there. On Mayo's $30 raise. If I had king queen of spades, I probably would have shoved.
Yeah. I think you're way ahead with king queen of spades a lot of the time in terms of equity. Anyway, either way, you have 9 outs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, all right, good hand.
Good hand. Nice hand, man. I thought that was. I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what do we got here? So Diz with the raise to 250, Simone calls, and Mayo calls. So flop comes out, king 9-7, checks from Simone and Mayo, and we get a 750. So this is effectively a continuation bet for Diz to 750.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then we get the check raise from Simone to 15. Mayo folds. And Diz calls. All right, let's pause here. All right. So Diz raises pre-flop. Simone calls, Mayo calls. 250 effectively in for each. So 750 in the pot. Simone checks. Diz goes in for pot size bet. And Simone check raises him. All right. So let's start with Diz. Where do you think he's at?
All right. So he starts off with the 5x raise. I don't mind that if he's early position. Then he pot size C bets it. A lot of times that says to me that he has an ace king. He doesn't want to see any more clubs. That's what you initially think. Then Chris min raises. Chris does this a lot with top pair. Like Chris does this. I want to see where I'm at, so I'm gonna check raise top pair, kind of stuff, right? And then Daryl just calls. Now that's weird, right? Because now if he has ace king and he doesn't want clubs to come off, what is he calling with? So now I don't think he has. I don't think these. What do you? I just call him Daryl. I don't think he has ace king anymore. So it's really tough to figure out what he has at this point. Yeah. Not as strong as a king. So I would think he's weighted towards ace queen of clubs type hands now that he has the draw. Yeah.
So I see a lot of people with ace queen in position and a flop comes out like this, king 9-7. And if it checks around to them, I'm going to put a pot size bet out and let's see if I can just take it down.
It's a good play. It's a good.
So, all right. So let's see what happens here. So Diz calls. Simone now leads out for effectively half the pot.
Yeah.
So possible two flushes on the board now. And Diz still makes the call. So can't have ace queen at this point.
He could have ace queen of clubs.
Could have ace queen of clubs. It's the only combination of ace queen he probably has. Could have king queen.
Pretty rarely though. I think Daryl puts in another raise on the flop with king queen. I don't know.
You think so? After he bets on the flop 750 and Chris comes on top of him for 15, even with king queen, you think Daryl would have re-raised there?
That's true. I personally would just call. I don't know how Derek thinks about these hands when he has top pair though. We've seen, didn't he blast off recently against you with king queen in this spot when you had ace queen and there was a queen, right? So that's why I'm thinking Daryl has really weighted towards draws, ace queen of clubs, jack 10 of clubs, queen jack of clubs.
Yeah.
And Simone almost always has a king here. Almost always.
Yeah.
Like 99% of the time he has a king.
Yeah. I've also seen Simone when he comes with a check raise, he's got two pair on the flop. So if he did have two pair on the flop, I'm nervous because now that hits his boat. And if he leads out for another just 50%, trying to build up the pot as much as possible.
Here's the thing though, what boats does he have, right?
7-9.
7-9, king 7, but he never has pocket kings.
Never has pocket kings here, but he could have 7-9 because the way that he check raised on the flop.
He could have 7-9,
yeah.
Very few combos.
But he could have 7-9 here. Simone loves playing 7-2 as well. He could have gotten gross.
he was bluffing with 7-2 and now he has trips and now he's value betting.
So that's pretty gross too. But
yeah, I don't like the 7 against Simone. 7 on the turn is the worst you can ask for, or a deuce.
And then, but if I'm D here, I have to have a king. He has to have a king here.
D, if like standard, you should have a king or better.
Yeah.
There to be calling. When
Yeah.
the board pairs, you can't really be chasing club draws as much.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're Omaha 8 players too. Though. We don't like we don't like chasing club draws when it's a paired board.
That's
right?
true.
So it's different with Omaha players, I think.
And a total brick on the river.
About as bricky as brick you can brick.
Yep.
Yeah.
No matching suit and not touching in any way.
$7
And
into,
Simone comes out with a little $7 bet.
into 74. Wow. Yeah, this is correct. It's 74 at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
10% bet. Okay.
Yeah. He is begging. He's begging for a call. Begging for D to call him.
It's a blocker. I mean, it's the most blocker of blocker bets ever.
Yeah. And Diz comes out with 66. It's basically saying, you missed your flush draw. You missed your diamond draw. You didn't hit any of those.
Yeah, but even if someone missed all that, they're not going to call the 66 anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I would just call here if I have something like ace high, or I would just call here if I had a good king.
Yep.
I would never raise here. So to me, that raise doesn't make sense anymore. And it still really looks like a misdraw. Like it really does. But and you're inducing the bet with the $7 bet out. So I know it seems silly, but I'm calling with any pair here at this point against D.
Yeah. Yeah, the bet to me doesn't make sense unless he slow played a 7 somehow.
Yes, actually, Derek could do that. He could have a quads here. That's true.
So that's the only thing I can think of. But gosh, if I'm Simone, if I have a king, any pair higher than a 9, I'm probably still calling this.
Yeah, I'm calling with 10s here.
Yeah,
I agree. But it's still a tough call to make because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I mean, on the surface, if you're not paying attention, that looks like a fantastic. It's still a great call.
Yeah.
But if you really think about this and you're not in the moment, I think you have to call with a king there.
Yeah. I agree. I call there. As long as I'm paying attention, I'm calling there 100% of the time. Yep. All righty.
Okay, Daryl's winning a bunch. He's way ahead.
He's not hurting. Good call.
Hurting.
Good call by Simone. Good call.
It was a lot of pressure he put on him though. I like them putting pressure on people.
All right, this is our last hand.
I know which hand it is. Do you want me to talk about it?
Oh yeah, I know.
From what we know, what I have. Or not?
This is the fun hand here.
Okay.
All right, so Merv on the button. You're on the small blind. Buster in the big blind. Tahoe, Sifu, Fishbait, Diz, King Roman, and Simone. Full table.
What a great table. This is a great table.
This is a good table right here.
So much action players here. Fishbait.
Right.
Fishbait's been playing better, by the way.
What's that?
Did you notice that FB's been playing a little better lately?
Yes.
He's tightening up his ranges.
Definitely tightening up his range. Yes, I totally agree. Totally agree. All righty. So Fishbait here comes out with a standard 3x raise, and we get calls almost all around the table.
What a nit. Buster folds the big blind.
Yeah, what a nit. With he's effectively getting, at that point he was getting 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1 on his money, and he didn't put in the extra buck.
Yeah. Oh, it's a buck.
And it turns out to be 5 to 1 on his money since Tahoe called.
Well, yeah. That's okay. So, I mean, in Omaha, you're supposed to do that too. Okay.
Anyway, you're right. He's a nit.
Nitty Buster. No one should pay you off ever, Buster.
All righty. 5 ways to the flop here. Jack 10-2. And let's remember Fishbait was the one who started the action pre-flop. Check. And he checks it.
Wow.
King Roman checks it. Checks all the way around to a 6. And now you from first position there open for 4 on a 6.
Yeah,
Ah,
6 hit me, right?
yeah. So let's see what happens here. Tahoe goes to 8, King Roman to 8, and then you shove to 48.50. All right. Let me, since you already know what happened here, let me see if I can talk myself through this, what's going on here. So
yeah, what would you think?
So you called pre-flop just to 150 out of the small blind. So I got to think, and then since you started the action, okay, maybe suited connector. So maybe at this point you're looking at, maybe 10 jack, and maybe you've got you're open-ended at this point. So, king queen, you would have raised pre-flop with king queen, so maybe 8-9. I think 8-9, or maybe and maybe it's a combo draw here with 2 hearts as well. So you see the raise to 8 from your 4. King Roman comes along, and then you shove for 48.50. So yeah. So the only thing is, like, since you didn't bet the flop, I don't think you have a jack. So yeah, I'm putting you on a combo draw with hearts here at this point.
Right. I think I could also do this with deuces and 6s. 10s and jacks, I would have 3-bet pre-flop. But it's nitty, but I also just call with king queen a lot of the time pre-flop from the small blind. Fishbait did open pretty early, and I want to see a flop with king queen rather than 3-bet it. So I do have king queen here, and I could have 8-9 of hearts a lot of the time and king queen of hearts a lot of the time.
So I definitely straight draw, flush draw, and maybe even a combo draw here is kind of as what I would say I would put you on right here.
Accurate.
Tahoe goes, he calls all in, and King Roman folds. 8. Boom.
Set. I win, right? No, I don't win.
Oh my god.
Pocket jacks. How does he have jacks there, dude? How? Okay. So let me go ahead and see what I was thinking at the time, all right? So Tahoe limped in under the gun, right? And then he just called Fishbait's 150, right? Like, how often does someone have a pocket pair there where they just limp call? And a small pocket pair, maybe, right? So, but never jacks, almost never jacks.
Yeah.
Who limp calls jacks there? But I made sure to note this, of course. But I was at the time I thought, okay, he's never bluffing because he min raised me on the flop. He has no fold equity if he min raises, so he's definitely not bluffing. So here's the combos I thought he would have. I thought he could have 10s. If he was really weird, he could have 10s and jacks in his range. I guess I'll put those in. But generally, he should have jack 10, king, ace that are slow played, or he's just blasting off with ace jack. I've seen Tahoe blast off a top pair a bunch, and I can see how jack 10 would play this way. He's hoping Fishbait continues on the flop so he can check raise on the flop. He didn't get his chance. So now he's blasting off with jack 10, and I beat jack 10. So the combos I beat are jack 10, which is 9 combos, king, which is 6 combos, ace 6 combos, ace jack 12 combos, as long as they're unsuited. The only combos I don't beat are 3 combos of 10s, 3 combos of jacks. So I beat 33 out of 39 combos of what I think his range looks like. And that was before I even thought he could have jacks there. But apparently he could have, if he does that with jacks, he can also do that with 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, and queens, I guess.
Yeah.
So we gotta look out for that guy when he does that.
Did you include 8s, those combos of 8s in that calculation as well?
Not in my post analysis. At the time, I didn't think 8s was possible. Oh, because all the money went in on the turn.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So he couldn't have 8s. But
Yeah.
now he can't have 6s.
Yeah.
But just
You're right.
for
You can only
future
have
reference,
jacks
now
or
we know
10s.
he can. Yeah.
You can only have
Now we
jacks
know
or
he can do
10s
it with
here,
middle
and you're hoping, even if he did have a strong hand, he's got 2s, which would have been possible as well for him to call your bet. So
Right. I beat a ton of his value because he's not bluffing. I don't think. Do you think he does this with King Queen of Hearts ever? I mean, that's a really good play to do with King Queen of Hearts, I think.
King Queen of Hearts to call your bet. Yeah, I think he does that with King Queen of Hearts.
Do you ever fold sixes in my spot in this situation?
No, are you kidding me? I'm thinking, dude, I live for the turned set.
Right? The most disguised. See, there's no way you could put me on a set either, right?
I live for the turned set. It's just like the most disguised.
I don't like saying, oh, I'm going to lose money either way on this hand. I don't like thinking of things that way because I'm trying to figure out if there is a way I can get away from it. I don't think there's a way I can on this particular hand. I don't know.
I mean,
I'll think about it some more, but yeah.
I mean, you're only losing to three hands here, and to the three combinations of jacks. That's and the three combinations of tens. That's it. So you're only losing. Yeah, there's no
6 combos, and I counted out 39 combos that he could have that I think makes sense. I think he does this with ace jack. I think he does this with jack 10. I think he does this with pocket deuces for sure. But that just sucks. That hurt. I logged off like 15 minutes after this hand. I didn't want them to know I was very upset. So I was like, I'm going to play a few more orbits and just fold and just log off. Because I was just.
That's brutal. That was a brutal hand.
Owned. You own me, Tahoe. You own me for sure.
Oh, brutal
Got
hand.
destroyed.
All righty.
That's dope, it, man. That was cool.
That was fun.
I like that.
That was our good.
I learned a lot.
That was our first session. I hope we. What do you think? How do you think we should do this going forward?
I think it really depends on the hand. I kind of liked us going through what we think they have without looking at the cards. I think that was pretty cool. I think it'd be kind of cool more if we didn't have like a good recollection as we do, because I think you and I still slightly remember the hands a lot.
Yeah.
It would be fun to like really, really, really guess, even though we're doing a really good analysis either way. But I really like this. I think we could do it the exact same way next time and still
learn a lot. I've got to figure a way to pull up hands, where we can't see the hand history, where it's going to be a compelling hand. Or maybe what we do is we pull in a third person. And,
that's what I was thinking.
We pull in a third person. If you could
teach Scott to put it into the program, is there a way for him to do that?
To what?
For him to plug it into Poker Tracker or whatever ahead of time, because you're still going to know.
I mean, we could have Scott just log into the hand site and look for interesting hands in terms of, and then
you're still going to have to input it into Poker Tracker ahead of time. So
yeah, that's true. But I don't have to necessarily. I just have to. I can do that without looking at the hands.
Okay.
Yes. So the other option is to get a third person to join us, and I'll pull the interesting hands and have the other two people analyze them.
Yeah, you just host.
Yeah, and I just host. Yeah.
Well, me and Merv analyze.
Yeah, we could do that.
And Merv will just be, saying "tae" like the entire time.
All right.
How are you going to do this? Are you gonna edit it at all, or just put it out there?
I think this was fun. I think I'm just gonna put it out there as it is, and so and we'll go. So,
cool.
So I just want to say, hey, thanks for everyone who stuck around through the whole thing of watching. And I will put the hand numbers in the descriptions so you can kind of see which hands we reviewed. And we'll see you next time.